Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of Japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita shloka. We're reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 14, text 27. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
And thank you for sharing yesterday the link. It was so beautiful. The
Okay,
Abhishek.
you're welcome. It was really beautiful. A very
Yes.
long Abhishek every year.
Yes. And then whenever I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be finished, then there was another.
Actually, it went quite late in the night also. After the Abhishek, then they opened the curtains with new dressing. So
Yes,
it
yes.
was, yeah, it was like they made these garlands with nuts. It was amazing, just very nice.
Oh, is it? Okay. Because from far, I mean, it's difficult to see, understand, or
Yeah, like a fat garland, it's actually like, like this
the,
thick almonds and then cashews, and they had these cherries, candied cherries, walnuts, figs, like
how did
uh,
they make holes in that?
I don't know how they make it, but it was just an amazing darshan, and all the offerings, and that was in the night, like past 9:30 or something. Very
Yeah,
nice.
that last, yeah, with the new dress and all, that looked so, what is it called? Um, what is the term? Like very extravagant, very beautiful, majestic. It looked so majestic with the
Yeah,
golden on the side, the golden rays, and then the silver rays.
silver. Yeah, the
It
effulgence.
was
Yes.
very beautiful. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य वयस्य च शाश्वत
Amritasya avyayasya. Try to join them. Amritasya avyayasya cha.
अमृतस्य भयस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achupriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada, Thakur Maharaj.
Dhanvatana
Glories to
Mataji.
the assembled devotees. Krishna. I'm not able to enlarge the screen. It's very small for me, Mataji.
Okay, I'll try. Uh, okay, better.
Yes, it's nothing. ब्राह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठापन् अमृतस्य
Amritasya avyayasya cha.
अमृतस्य यस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्य कान्तिकस्य च. I couldn't find my specs. Next, my translation and printing price.
That I'll have to make smaller so you'll see. Yeah.
Sorry, Mataji, for doing. And
One
I am
second.
the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Ramano hi pratastaham amartsayavayasya cha sayatyasya cha dharmasya sukhasya tasyasya cha
Sukasya ikantikasya cha.
sukhasya kantikasya cha. Translation. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Who's next? Inba. Inya. Jai
Hare,
Ganesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. Translation. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional possession of ultimate happiness.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Anya.
Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya yasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional possession of ultimate happiness.
Mataji, Prabhuji are there?
No, Mataji.
Okay. Isha, Krishna, Shish, Madhava, Rasapriya. Anyone's going to recite? You know what? You'll have to log in because they can't hear you. Yeah, he didn't finish it. And I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. It is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional possession of ultimate happiness.
Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha
Amritasya vyayasya cha
amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhai
sukhasya ekantikasya cha.
sukhasya ekantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional possession of ultimate happiness.
Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya
Sukhasya ekantikasya cha. Yes. Usha Mataji and Meda.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya
Amritasya vyayasya cha
amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya
sukhasya ekantikasya cha.
sukhashaikantikasya ka. Translation. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Meda is not here, Mataji.
Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya avyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya
ekantikasya cha.
Sukhasya ekantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Yes. Pragya. Okay. So I'll also.
Not available, Mataji.
Okay. Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 14, text 27. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha Shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. So let's read Srimad
Mataji,
Bhagavatam.
I can recite now. Should I recite?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Priyanka.
Okay, Mataji. Never pranam, Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Dandavat pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
ब्राह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्य व्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. Translation: And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1. The Advent of Lord Krishna. Introduction. We were reading how Vasudeva is pacifying Kamsa and also trying to protect Devaki. So, first of all, Vasudeva tried to, because Kamsa is a very proud person, right? So how do you approach a proud person? Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says you should glorify that person, glorify, flatter that person. Then he will be able to listening. He will be willing to listen to you when you flatter him. If you don't, he won't even listen to you. So first flatter him, and after flattering, then you tell him, my dear sir, please forget whatever wonderful material qualities you have and just throw them and surrender to Krishna. But by that time, because he is already, you have conquered him by flattering him, right? He's listening to you. Then because he's listening to you, he'll become receptive to the message. So therefore, when you approach a materially proud person, you must flatter, it is said. So Kamsa is of course a very, is a materialistic person. So Vasudeva also said, you are the glory of your family and this and that. But here the approach is, if you kill your sister, it's an abominable act. You see, when someone is, it's like you have a white paper and there's a black spot on the white paper. Immediately it becomes visible, isn't it? So after glorifying that you are the crest jewel of your dynasty and so on and so forth, that means you have so many glories, and one black spot, it'll just spoil your whole reputation. Don't do this. Killing a woman, it's not supported in Shastra. It's condemned. And your sister, younger sister, who's supposed to be protected like one's daughter, and on top of that, on her wedding day, no, this is going to spoil your reputation, Kamsa. Don't do it. That didn't work. Had no effect on Kamsa. Then Vasudeva said, this is sinful, right? If you perform sinful activities for the sake of this body, you're trying to protect this body, you're committing sinful activities, or to give some comforts to this body, or extensions of this body, either for this body or family members or community, so on and so forth. But you are doing all this to become happy in this life, in this body, while in this body, this will result in getting another body, which will give you so many sufferings. So don't commit sinful activities. Besides, you are not this body anymore, anyway. You are trying to protect this body is going to go away. And you'll think, oh, even if it goes away, at least I'll be able to hold on to it for a longer time, so I'll do whatever it can to keep this body. No, even after this body goes away, you'll get another body. According to your karma, you'll get another body, right? But if you're Krishna conscious in this body, then the next body will be a spiritual body, where there won't be birth, old age, disease, and death. But if you're doing materialistic activities in this body, you will get another material body where you have to suffer birth, old age, disease, and death. And then also, so in this way, Vasudeva explained philosophically, right? Like a jnana, knowledge. He gave about the spirit soul, about the mind, the role that the mind plays, right? It is because of the impressions on the mind that one is transmigrating from one body to another. So don't perform sinful activities. Don't be envious to others. If you're envious to others, then your future is very dark. You'll have to suffer like that. No effect on Kamsa's consciousness. Why? Because those who are in the modes of ignorance, right? Rakshasa, it is said Kamsa is a follower of Rakshasas. Yakshas and Rakshasas are in the mode of ignorance. Asuras are in the mode of passion. Demigods are in the mode of goodness. So whoever you follow, that will be your consciousness, or that's the mode in which you are in. So Kamsa was a follower of the Rakshasas in the mode of ignorance. So those who are in the mode of ignorance, they are very dull. It's hard to penetrate their consciousness, right? It's very dull. So good instruction had no effect on him. So then you have to speak in terms of some profit, right? What will you gain? Like that. So now Vasudev started thinking to himself before speaking to Kamsa. This is not working on Kamsa. This strategy is not working. I have to try another strategy. Why? Because now there is death in the face, right? It's right there. Kamsa has his sword ready to kill Devaki. So he has to act immediately to protect Devaki. Devaki is his wife. It is his responsibility to protect, right? Husband is responsible for the wife's protection. And yeah, we also discussed about telling lies and all that, right? Certain circumstances, telling lies is also acceptable when you have to save someone's life like that. So Kamsa was thinking that I have to protect Devaki first, right? And then about the children, I will think about the children later on. First, I have to protect Devaki. So Kamsa would say, Devaki, Vasudeva would say that I will first, in order to save Devaki, he promises to Kamsa that I will give you all the children born from Devaki. You can do with them whatever you like. Because your fear is from the 8th child of Devaki who is going to kill you. So I'll give you all the children, not just the 8th child. Don't kill Devaki. Because Devaki is not the one who's going to kill you. Why unnecessarily kill her on a wedding day? She's your younger sister. Your fear is from her children, right? I'll give you all the children. And what is Vasudeva thinking? Everyone comes with a destiny. The prophecy already said that the 8th child is going to kill Kamsa. So I have to save Devaki now. When the children come, maybe the child will kill Kamsa. Or maybe Kamsa will die naturally even before the children are born. And then all the children will be born and they'll be safe. There's no fear from Kamsa. One of the children may kill Kamsa. Or maybe there won't be any children also. Who knows? So future, right? Of course, there is this confidence. There is this confidence that there is this prophecy. Confidence in what? In Krishna. Anakadundabi. You remember that also is said. Vasudeva is Anakadundabi. Why he is Anakadundabi? At the time of his birth, all the demigods played musical instruments, drums. Why? And showered flowers. Because this boy is going to be the father of Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, who is going to appear soon. So If Krishna is going to appear, what fear does Vasudeva have? And this is the 8th child is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he had full confidence. For his protection, he had no fear. Right? So he wants to save Devaki now. So that's why, that's what is going on now in our reading. Yeah. First, and then. Okay, text 51. Who's supposed to read today? I think Achit Priya Mataji, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Mataji, Inia read last. Yeah, Inia read last.
Inia read last. Did Inba also read?
Yes, she also read.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
okay, so Isha will start then. We have to start.
Jayashree Mataji and Prabhuji didn't read.
Didn't read. Okay.
They're not here, Mataji.
They're not there. So Isha will start then. Okay, I am just reading the last couple of translations. Sukadev Goswami continued, O best of the Guru dynasty, Kamsa was fiercely cruel and was actually a follower of the Rakshasas. Therefore, he could be neither pacified nor terrified by the good instructions given by Vasudeva. He did not care about the results of sinful activities, either in this life or in the next. When Vasudeva saw that Kamsa was determined to kill his sister Devaki, he thought to himself very deeply. Considering the imminent danger of death, he thought of another plan to stop Kamsa. As long as he has intelligence, and this one we didn't discuss. Why he is trying to save Devaki's life? Because this is the duty of every person to stop death as far as possible, right? According to your strength and intelligence, one must try to stop death. But in spite of all endeavors, if you're not able to stop, it's not your fault. But if you don't even stop, and if you allow death to happen while you're still capable of stopping it, then you're at fault, right? This is what Vasudeva is thinking. As long as he has intelligence and bodily strength, an intelligent person must try to avoid death. This is the duty of every embodied person. But if death cannot be avoided, in spite of one's endeavors, a person facing death commits no offense. Vasudeva considered, by delivering all my sons to Kamsa, who is death personified. Or maybe we didn't read this. Did we read this? No, we read this. I shall save the life of Devaki. Perhaps Kamsa will die before my sons take birth. Or, since he is already destined to die at the hands of my son, one of my sons may kill him. For the time being, let me promise to hand over my sons so that Kamsa will give up this immediate threat. And if in due course of time Kamsa dies, I shall have nothing to fear. Like that. So text 51, Isha. Agneryatha daru viyogayogayor adrishtatonya nimittamasti evam hi jantorapi durvibhavyah sharira samyoga viyoga hetu.
When a fire, for some unseen reason, leaps over one piece of wood and sets fire to the next, the reason is destiny. Similarly, when a living being accepts one kind of body and leaves aside another, there is no other reason than unseen destiny.
Yeah. Further, Vasudeva is considering when a fire from some unseen reason, like you have a forest fire, sometimes bamboo forests, they just catch on fire for no reason because of friction. This time, summertime, it happens. When a fire for some unseen reason leaps over one piece of wood and sets fire to the next. So when there are a lot of bamboo trees, one bamboo caught fire, and then normally you would expect that the fire will spread from one tree to the next, to the next, to the next, and all the trees in the row catch fire. But sometimes it may happen.
Not a loser. I never call anyone a loser, but she is. Loser, na? A loser is someone.
So the fire leaps from one tree and leaving one tree in the middle, and it catches fire to the third one. So one tree is left without burning. When a fire, for some unseen reason, leaps over one piece of wood and sets fire to the next, the reason is destiny. Why is that tree saved? It's its destiny that it has to be saved. There's no other reason, right? Logically, it doesn't make sense. Logically, all trees should be burned, but somehow one tree is escaped. How? It's the destiny. Similarly, when a living being accepts one kind of body and leaves aside another, that means, there are so many bodies you could be taking, but you only get this body. Why? Right? You take birth only in this family. Why not in your neighbor's family? Right? Sometimes children feel that if only I were born in the next person's family or in my friend's family, like that. So, why only in this particular family, not getting birth in in your uh, uncle's family or aunt's family, but in this particular family? There is no other reason than unseen destiny. You're destined to take birth in this particular family. You're destined to come birth in this you take birth in this particular body. This is destiny. Okay, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna, you're going to read?
When there is a fire in a village, the fire sometimes jumps over one house and burns another. Similarly, when there is a forest fire, the fire sometimes jumps over one tree and catches another. Why this happens, no one can say. One may set forth some imaginary reason why the nearest tree or house did not catch fire, whereas a tree or house in a distant place did. But actually, the reason is destiny. This reason also applies to the transmigration of the soul, by which a prime minister in one life may become a dog in the next. The work of unseen destiny cannot be ascertained by practical experimental knowledge, and therefore one must be satisfied by reasoning that everything is done by supreme providence.
Srila Prabhupada quotes this several times in different.
It's Jawaharlal Nehru. He always said that.
That someone who is in such a high post, right, practically the topmost person in the in the country, like a king practically, and such a person becomes a dog in someone else. So it doesn't make sense, right? At least if you're prime minister, in your next life you should become some, maybe, I mean, if you're best is if you're promoted to a higher. Generally, what would you expect? That if you're working as a clerk, then you get promotion to a higher position, isn't it? Hey, you become a head clerk or something, or you go higher. Like if you're a manager, then you become superior. That's how it happens, isn't it? When you're working also, do you ever see that you're doing some work and then you go down further? Not one step down. This is something like the general, the CEO of a company all of a sudden becomes a chaprasi or something, like he becomes a janitor, a cleaner in the. Do you ever see such examples? You don't see. You don't see. But if it happens, then if it happens, then that is destiny. It's destiny. And Prabhupada likes to give this example of the prime minister becoming a dog in the next life. And similarly, he quotes Professor Kotovsky quite often, like someone as in a very big position, he doesn't even know, that the basic thing that after this life you have to take another birth. So these examples quite often Srila Prabhupada quotes. Yes, Aditi Lata Mataji and then Neelamari Radha Mataji.
Mataji, one quick realization that the consciousness, because that's what Krishna says, right? Whenever someone dies, when whatever he's thinking will go there.
Yeah.
So this is my realization. I'm saying that why Jawaharlal Nehru became a dog, like Prabhupada said, because when he died, when he ruled, I mean, when he was here, his consciousness was always fighting like my seat, I want to be the prime minister, I want to be like, because of India Pakistan thing, like the whole partition took place because of him, right? Because he was so his consciousness was so polluted that my I want. So dog's nature is also like that. If we see that, you put some food and all the dogs will come and try to snatch food from each other's mouth. So because of that consciousness, that person must have taken birth, of course, must have, surely has taken birth as a dog, as Prabhupada said that he was born because that consciousness was there with him. So therefore we should, I'm saying big things, I'm not yet pure, but I'm saying that's why our consciousness is we should be endeavoring to purify our consciousness, so that we don't have this consciousness in a subtle form in our mind
Yeah.
before we die.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that. Yeah. You are where your mind is, you know. So externally, wherever we may be, but where is our consciousness? That's very important. Thank you. Nicely explained. Yeah, I didn't think like that, but you explained it nicely. Thank you. Nilambari Radhamataji.
Mataji, I heard that it's a French Prime Minister, not Jawaharlal Nehru.
Which Prime Minister?
A French Prime Minister of France.
Really?
But Prabhupada said Jawaharlal Nehru.
I heard. So he specifically said Jawaharlal Nehru. And in the
Okay.
morning walk, he was telling one of the disciples, this Jawaharlal Nehru, he's a dog. He's born as a dog in Sweden.
Yeah, an astrologer actually said that he took birth as a dog in Sweden, like that. Like those who read the
And
astrologers.
also, maybe my mistake. And also, I was talking to someone. She said, I don't mind to become a dog, to
Yeah.
take a dog birth. I said, would you like to? No, yeah, household dog. They're so much loved. So
I know.
I
I heard this also several times. Well, not just you and me. People said that to Srila Prabhupada also. What's wrong with me? Just to win the argument, or if they actually think like that. And in one case, Srila Prabhupada said, all right, if you don't mind, then I bless you, become a dog. Gaya.
No, she was not arguing. She was not arguing. She was just, we were just talking casually, and
Uh-huh.
she said, I don't mind become a dog. They are so much loved, a household dog. I said, if you are not getting birth as a household dog, a street dog, then what will happen? Then she
Yeah.
said, oh, that's not real. That's not expected.
Yeah. We don't
Yes,
get to
so
choose.
exactly. I was going to say that, Mataji. That is not in our hand, right? When we try to be over smart, Krishna, like Narsimadev comes as a Narsimadev. When we try to be smart like Hiranyakashipu and say, okay, a dog, then Krishna says, okay, be a dog in Calcutta street. You'll be
Yeah.
kicked every step of the way.
Yeah. And besides, even just to say that, I've heard also personally with me when I was talking with people in the past, they would say, like these are all educated people and in big positions, and like they would say, yeah, if you're born as a dog in America, you're treated so nicely. No, it's good. Yeah. So what's wrong? Just, I mean, whatever you say to them at that time, according to the situation, but just something to understand. You should actually feel sorry for them that they're even thinking like that. What can a dog accomplish? First of all, you have no idea about reincarnation. So what will you become after being a dog? Right? You're going down. This is like, uh, you know, human form of life is a junction from where you can actually progress. You don't progress from a dog's, you know, basically when you get an animal form, it's programmed. You go from one animal form to the next, to the next, to the next. You don't have any choice there. But in a human form, you can actually stop this cycle of birth and death. Who can actually, even those dogs who are nicely taken care of in the Western countries, nowadays you hear that dogs also get cancer and they also get this disease and that disease. They have surgeries and, so many things that dog, you think it's easy? You cannot even express yourself. You have some pain. It's like, little babies, right? Some mosquito is biting them and they're crying, and the mother or the caretaker is thinking, oh, maybe it wants food, so she'll just force a milk bottle in the mouth. So like that, they cannot even express themselves. Is that a wonderful situation to be in as a dog? Even if they're very loving, so much loved, the dog cannot speak what it wants. And what will happen now? You still have to go through birth, old age, disease, and death. Isn't it painful? Whether you're in a dog's body or human being's body, you're a human being now. You have gone through diseases so far, either yours or you've seen someone who's dear to you, how painful it is. You want to go through all that again and then face death finally without knowing what will happen after death? So if somebody is thinking like that and saying that, and if is actually thinking it's fine, we should only understand, we should feel so sorry that they're not able to, the level of consciousness is very low. That's what it is. They're not able to think beyond that. It's like ignorance. Give prasadam and
And there are many, many dogs in the shelter. They are not loved. They are just struggling
yes, see,
to
yeah.
survive. Yeah.
So thank you. So next verse. Transmigration of the soul. Yes. So the important point here is it's destiny. Why a person gets one body, logically it makes no sense. Then still it is happening means somebody is saved, right? Or during coronavirus time we heard that these little babies, father and mother, all family members are dead and one little baby is surviving. There's no relatives to take care of. Why? How? Destiny, right? It's karma. What can we do? Evam vimrishya tam papam yavad atmani darshanam pujayam asa vaishaurir bahumana purahsaram. Madhava.
After thus considering the matter as far as he knows and alone, Vasudeva submitted his proposal to the sinful council and trees.
Yes. So Vasudev was thinking, contemplating all these things within his mind, that he's going to. So he tried different things, it didn't work. So now what he's going to do? He will offer to give all Devaki's children to Kamsa, and in exchange, Kamsa should spare Devaki's life, right? And uh, then the only question would be, so you're risking your son's lives? That's destiny. I have to take care of the present first, right? In order to save the sons who are not even born, I shouldn't allow my wife to be killed. If she's killed, there won't be any sons also. Let me save my wife. And if sons come, then if they are destined to live, they will live, right? In spite of my promising Kamsa and my giving them to Kamsa, if they're actually destined to live, they'll live. But I have to take care of the situation in front of me, right? Now, like that. And then when the sons come, he will try to save them also, whatever possible, he will do. But as of now, let me take care. Like this, he made up his mind. After thus considering the matter as far as his knowledge would allow, Vasudev submitted his proposal to the sinful Kamsa with great respect. So now Vasudev is going to speak to Kamsa. Prasanna vadanam bhojo nishamsam nirapatrapam manasa duyamanena vihasan idam abravit. Rasapriya. Yes, can you imagine what was Vasudev's condition? His wife was going to be slaughtered in front of his eyes by this cruel demoniac Kamsa. What type of anxiety? And he has to stop him, right? You would imagine him to be literally falling on the feet of Kamsa, begging him, either taking out angrily, what are you doing? Right? He's a Kshatriya himself. He could have taken out a sword and fought with him and protected his wife. Or if he is too weak to do that, then you can expect him to, but certainly being in great anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen to his wife. Some of you may have that experience, when those who are wives and mothers here, if you were in a very serious health crisis, what type of uh, trauma, what type of anxiety the husband has to go through. What if something happens to my wife? Who will, what will happen to me? What will happen to my kids? What will happen to this family? They'll be in great anxiety, isn't it? And of course, the affection, right? So this is Vasudev's condition. But even in that condition, when he's in great anxiety, he puts up a smile on his face and he speaks to Kamsa. Why? We will see in the purport. Vasudev's mind was full of anxiety because his wife was facing danger. But in order to please the cruel, shameless, and sinful Kamsa, he externally smiled and spoke to him as follows. Purport. So after Rasapriya, who's after Rasapriya? Nilambari Radhamati.
Mataji, that is the power of dharma to make him, though he's in anxiety, because he knows the knowledge, he's still trying to think. I don't know. I just felt like.
Yeah, doing whatever is needed in that situation, keeping his feelings within his heart, not showing them outside. Even in that situation, that's the thing, right? I mean, this is an extreme condition, but even in that, again, a Kshatriya is known for this. I think I told you before the difference between Brahmana and Kshatriya. This is said in Srimad, in Mahabharata and other places also. Chanakya's Arthashastra also it is said that a Kshatriya, his heart is like a sword, right? Very sharp. He's actually contemplating killing the other person, right? He has so much, anger, and he's ready. He's looking for an opportunity to kill the other person, but he will never let the other person know what's going on in his mind, what's in his heart. He will smile and he will speak. When he speaks, he'll speak so sweetly. You'll think he's your friend, he's your well-wisher, but actually in his heart, he's thinking just the opposite. That's a Kshatriya. And the Brahmana, that means his words are always very sweet. He will never lose his, control on his speech. Kshatriya, right? Whereas a Brahmana, his heart is very clear. He doesn't have any envy or any grudges against anyone. Very, very forgiving. Even if someone has done something to him in the past, he won't keep it in his heart that he wants to take revenge on that person. No, he will forget and forgive. No problem. But at that moment when someone does something, his speech can be very harsh. He can speak very harshly, angrily, even cursing or whatever. But his heart is very clear. This is a Brahmana. That's why as soon as someone begs forgiveness, he forgives. Because he doesn't keep anything in his heart. He just speaks, but he doesn't have anything in his heart. Kshatriya is the opposite. Even externally, he may say, yeah, no problem. He will never forget. When someone does something, he will keep it and he'll take revenge. That's the difference between Kshatriyas and Brahmanas. Okay.
Very
So,
stable. Very
stable.
stable. Yes.
Stable means he won't show what is in his mind. He won't reveal it to others. That's the point. It's not clear, like whereas in a Brahmana's case, you can see what is in his heart and what is outside is the same. You cannot he doesn't have something inside and something outside. Brahmana is clear, same. So if he's angry, if he doesn't like someone, it just comes out. You can see it. Kshatriya is not like that. He won't like someone in the heart, but externally he will show like he likes. He'll speak very sweetly. That's the thing.
Politics.
Politics, yeah. And it's required. Now, why a Kshatriya does that? That's a Kshatriya. That's his nature. That's his nature. That's what, and even that can be dovetailed in the Lord's service. The wonderful thing is, everyone's Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they have their particular nature that can be dovetailed in the Lord's service. That can be. Yes, Asapri. What about Dronacharya when he wanted to take revenge on Drupad Maharaj? He's a Brahmana. He should not have actually, if he's a Brahmana, he should have forgiven and not wanted to take revenge. Well, he didn't want to see. It's not that after he took the kingdom, he forgave. It's not like he kept. With the Kshatriya, he will never forgive. You understand? Even after all that, he won't forgive. He'll just keep it in his heart. He's my enemy. Dronacharya wanted to teach him a lesson. He just wanted, because Drupada was his friend, right? They were buddies, childhood friends. And but Drupad Maharaj now, he, because he was materially, actually, it's just a puffed up position, because Brahmanas are always, Drupad Maharaj's point was, if you come to me as a Brahmana, ask for a charity, I will give you, no problem. But you're coming to me like a friend, like an equal, that's not acceptable. That was Drupad Maharaj's point. But when there is friendship is done between equals, right? But then look at Krishna. For us, we have to always look at, Mahajano yena gatasya pantha, right? Great personalities, great Mahajans, whatever they do, from their example, we understand what is to be done, what is not to be done. So, Krishna and Sudama were also classmates. Sudama was a Brahmana, Krishna was a Kshatriya, and they were both classmates. What happened when Sudama went to Krishna after so many years? And Sudama was also in a poverty-stricken condition. In fact, in a much more, probably in a more difficult situation, or maybe the same, I don't know, probably. In poverty-stricken condition. When Sudama went, how did Krishna respond? Oh, he made him sit on his throne and he washed his feet and, fed him so nicely, and then he asked him, my dear friend, what can I do for you? Drupad Maharaj should have done that also, right? because that's the position of Kshatriyas with respect to, even if you are a Kshatriya, if a Brahmana comes, Brahmana is actually superior to, he doesn't have wealth. That doesn't mean, the wealth of a Brahmana is not property and money. The wealth of a Brahmana is his austerity. He lives in poverty by choice. He lives in poverty by choice. That's his austerity. So a Kshatriya, if is comparing the Brahmana from his, uh, point of view, for him, and what is the success of a Kshatriya? When he has a big kingdom, lot of property, right? Like an expanded kingdom. The bigger the kingdom, then the more successful a Kshatriya is considered to be. So if he starts weighing the Brahmana also on the same level, you have more like this, then you are successful. No, Brahman, you cannot compare, uh, like, what do you say? You can only compare two things when they are comparable, right? You cannot just compare two different things. Brahmana's wealth is his austerity. Kshatriya's wealth is his, expanse of his kingdom. So he should not have done that. So Drupada was wrong. Number one, Drupada was wrong. So it doesn't say that Dronacharya wanted to take revenge on Drupada. Not exactly. But Drupada, as a friend, was puffed up and he was wrong, right? He actually ridiculed Dronacharya, insulted him, and sent him away, treated him like a beggar. Even as a Brahmana, even if he were not his classmate, if he were just a Brahmana, how should a Kshatriya treat a Brahmana? You see, Yudhishthir Maharaj, every morning he would give charity, worshipping a Brahmana. What if that Brahmana is your childhood friend? That was wrong, don't you think, Drupad Maharaj? So now Dronacharya felt hurt, uh, because he didn't go to him as a king, right? He didn't go to him like a subject. He went to him like a friend, and Drupad Maharaj insulted that. So Dronacharya wanted to teach his friend a lesson. He wanted to teach his friend a lesson. And after that, you see, if he had actually had this enmity, then why would he accept Drishtadyumna as a student? Drishtadyumna is the son of Drupad Maharaj. And it is a known fact, the whole world knew that Drishtadyumna was born to kill Dronacharya. And he's coming to Dronacharya to learn how to kill Dronacharya. And what should Dronacharya do? If he were a Kshatriya, would he accept him? Probably not. But Brahmana, his own life was going to be taken. He didn't care. He accepted. Come. And he taught him everything he knew. Not that, I won't teach. He taught him everything he knew as a teacher. There also we see he was actually a proper Brahmana. Then the only question is, then why he, got Drupad Maharaj captured by his students. Arjun, right? Went and captured. And then he was brought. But even when he was brought, he didn't try, insult him. He just showed him what he did, what Drupad Maharaj did. You insulted me like this, so now you see, am I now fit to be your friend? Right? You said I was not fit to be your friend because I was a poor man. I only want your friendship. And you made friendship, you said you made friendship only with equals. So someone who's on the same level as you can be your friend. Now am I on the same level as you? Right? I have your whole kingdom. I'm giving you half the kingdom back. So we are both equal. Can we be friends now? It can be. For Drupada, it's a big insult because he was a puffed up person. For a puffed up person, it is a big insult. But he taught a lesson to his friend. He taught a lesson to his friend. And when his disciple Arjun and his other disciples, all Pandavas, they married Draupadi. He was there, right? It's not like, oh, he didn't try to stop them. Why you're marrying my enemy? Can't see that, right? There was always coming and going, and all that was happening. But of course, Drupad Maharaj, Drupad Maharaj never forgave. You can see that. Kshatriya. He kept it in his heart. He didn't think, what did I do? Right? I did wrong, therefore, whatever it is, why he did that to me? And this is an insult. I have to take revenge. He took revenge. He killed Dronacharya. Until then, he got a son who could kill Dronacharya. Did Dronacharya tell Arjun to go and kill Drupad Maharaj? No. He only wanted to teach him a lesson. So I think that was okay. All right. Next. So why we were discussing this? Vasudev, right? Vasudev is smiling. Vasudev is smiling. Priyanka Mataji is saying, I was thinking only if we have been raised according to our nature, we must have been very strong individuals, either Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Yes, Mataji, absolutely true. Yes. If we are actually trained, educated, first of all, identified, yes. It's not by birth, just because somebody takes birth in a Brahmana family or Kshatriya family, automatically is a Brahmana Kshatriya. It's not true. That's why, especially the Dvijas, the higher castes, they are sent to Gurukul. And then there, the teacher recognizes whether this is a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya. And then he's taught accordingly. He's trained accordingly. And then you would certainly be a much stronger person, no doubt about that. And same with the girls also. It's not that girls didn't have education. Sometimes we have this misconception. Girls also have education, but they're taught by ladies, the older ladies, right? In homes, right? So like in one street, one elderly lady, all the young girls in that street, in their homes, they would go, like all Brahmana girls would go to a Brahmana older lady. Like we would have these, like maybe some classes, things that girls would learn, right? Because we see from the talks of Draupadi, from Kunti Maharani, it's not like they didn't have Shastric knowledge. They knew Shastra too. How did they learn? They didn't go to Gurukul. They were also trained. They were also educated. So they get education when they're really young, at home, certainly from the father. And also as they're growing up little older, from their mother, and also other ladies, right? They can learn. And Kshatriya ladies can also learn, how to use weapons. We have those examples also. Not that they actually go to fight in battlefields, but they have that skill for emergency. If required, they can use weapons. Yeah, Kshatriya ladies also have that. We see in the case of Sharmishta and Devyani, Sharmishta carried like a personal, like a knife, for self-defense. Devyani didn't carry. Devyani is dagger. Dagger, correct. Devyani didn't carry because she's a Brahmana's daughter. Sharmishta carried. So Kshatriya ladies also, they have some training. They have some training. That's why, according to your nature, according to you are given education. And of course, mainly girls are trained mainly how to take care. Their responsibilities are within the house. Their responsibilities are within the house. So that also includes training children, that also includes advising their husbands, yes, and also caring for their elders, family members, like in-laws, and then everyone has their duties. So if everyone is trained according to his or her particular nature, there's so much each person can offer, and they will also feel completely, satisfied, right? Trying to be someone that you are not, competing, like, hopefully with all this, you know, uh, with all the endeavors of the devotees all over the world, and with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's uh, golden age, right, like a lotus blossoming, that dharma, not hopefully, it is certainly going to come. Otherwise, how is it possible for the golden age, right? So certainly dharma is going to be established once again in society, but the focus of following that dharma would be pure devotional service, which is originally, that's the idea of dharma. Following dharma is to bring us to the point of pure devotional service, but you know uh, sakale neha mahata yogo nashtah parantapa, in due course of time that gets dwindled, right, the original purpose, and it takes uh, uh, some perverted shape. Even the varnashram system, which was meant to be Daiva Varnashram, it becomes Varnashram to get liberation, following Varnashram to go to Swarga, and so on and so forth, like that. But once again, the Lord sends, either He comes or He sends His uh, empowered representatives to re-establish Dharma from time to time. And so once again, we can start going on the right track. Thank you for that comment. So Vasudev is smiling to Kamsa. Vasudev's mind was full of anxiety because his wife was facing danger. But in order to please the cruel, shameless, and sinful Kamsa, he externally smiled and spoke to him as follows. So, Neelambari Radha Mataji, or actually it's Meda, sorry, Usha Mataji. Purport.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Something one must act to
sometimes.
please. Sometimes one must act duplicitously in a dangerous position, as Vasudeva did to save his wife. The material world is complicated, and to execute one's duties, one cannot avoid adopting such diplomacy. Vasudeva did everything possible to save his wife for the sake of begetting Krishna. This indicates that one may act duplicitously for the purpose of saving Krishna and his interests. According to the arrangement already foretold, Krishna was to appear through Vasudeva and Devaki to kill Kamsa. Vasudeva therefore had to do everything to save the situation. Although all the events were pre-arranged by Krishna, a devotee must try his best to serve the purpose of Krishna. Krishna himself is all powerful, but it is not that a devotee should therefore sit idly and leave everything to him. This instruction is also found in Bhagavad Gita. Although Krishna was doing everything for Arjuna, Arjuna never sat down idly as a non-violent gentleman. Rather, he tried his best to fight the battle and be victorious.
Thank you, Mataji. The best example I can think of is Srila Prabhupada himself, right? Like, everybody thought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prophecy, Prithivite Ache Jato Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Mornam, that is something like you know, you shouldn't take it literally. Nobody believed that it's literally going to happen. They didn't believe. Or even if it is going to happen, they didn't think it is happening. It's going to happen now, right? Mahaprabhu said, but it's like, you should coming up with some other meanings to that. Because if they actually believed it, One thing is, yeah, it will happen and Mahaprabhu will do it. Now I got this, now I'll sit and I'll perfect my life. But Srila Prabhupada, this is the Lord's, he foretold, this is the prophecy. What was Srila Prabhupada's mood? This is the prophecy, it will happen. All I have to do is I just have to go there and I have to, I have to put my endeavor. But how hard he tried. Just look at that. It's not that the Lord is going to do everything, so I'll just go and stand there and it will happen automatically. Was that Prabhupada's mood? All his life, he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur when he was a young man, 21 years old. And his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, gave him this order: you go and preach in the English speaking language. When did Srila Prabhupada actually go to America? When he was 69, he turned 70 on the way. From 21 to 70, his whole life was simply preparing to fulfill that order, that in all over the world this Krishna consciousness must be spread. Now practically all over the world, everybody knows Hare Krishna. Before Srila Prabhupada went, they didn't even know who Krishna was, who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. Prabhupada went in 1965. I went in 2000. Even when I went so many years later, it was like, I'm not talking about the devotee circles, but there was not even an Indian store. In the city where I went, there was no Indian store even. But Srila Prabhupada in 65, so if that was the case in 2000, you can imagine what it was like in 65. People didn't know anything about, Krishna. What to speak of? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are all parts and parcels. We are all servants of Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada, he was convinced about it himself. And he went and boldly, he preached, as we read in Lilamrita. How many challenges? First, so many challenges in India, simply to get a ticket and go to America. And health crisis, heart attacks, one after another. And after going to America, was it easy? Was everything arranged for him? Some nice Indian family with his, arranging classes for him and everything. No, he was in Bowery, changing apartments. He didn't know where he will go the next day. People attacking him, stealing his things. But he didn't stop. What I'm trying to say is, yes, Mahaprabhu said, Prithivite ache jato nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe moranam. But that does not mean, yeah, he will do it. Let me sit down and, I'll take care of my life. He put all his energy. That's exactly what Srila Prabhupada is saying. This is Srila Prabhupada's mood. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying in this purport. Yeah, although all the events were pre-arranged by Krishna, right? Krishna made that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made that prophecy, means it was already pre-arranged. If he's saying, that means it's going to happen anyway, right? Although all the events were pre-arranged by Krishna, a devotee must try his best to serve the purpose of Krishna. He must try his best. Couldn't Krishna do it himself? Right? He could have said, Arjun, you don't fight, I will kill everyone. But no, Krishna said, yes, everyone will be killed, but you have to fight, you have to kill them. And you have to give your full 100%. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturvut ma te sangostva karmani. Yes, you don't take any credit for the result that you did it, but at the same time, you cannot be like, oh, he's doing everything, so I'll just touch and then things will just happen because he's doing it. Some people talk like that about Srila Prabhupada. This is envy. This is nothing but envy. Some people say that it was already decided, Mahaprabhu already did it, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur already did all the austerities. It could have been, it might as well been anyone. It just happened to be Srila Prabhupada. But if anyone else, it was already done. All you had to do was just go and stand there and just, they say like, the seeds were planted before, the trees were there with all the fruits. He simply went and collected the fruits and came and he took all credit. Like this, some envious people talk. Then why others didn't do that? If it's as simple as going and collecting fruits, why they didn't do that? He gave his life. Although the mission was already there, Krishna said it, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it. Although all the events were pre-arranged by Krishna, still a devotee must try his best. Same we see in the case of Arjun. Srila Prabhupada is saying that this instruction is also found in Bhagavad Gita. Although Krishna was doing everything for Arjun, Krishna was right there on the chariot with Arjun. Right? So Arjun could be simply laid back and, yeah, Krishna, you do everything. Like a magician, right? You just glance at people and all the soldiers will be dead. I don't have to fight. He was completely worked up as a Kshatriya fighting on the battlefield. That is what is expected from every one of Srila Prabhupada's followers. Because if we call ourselves followers of Srila Prabhupada Anugas, then we should be a perfect representative of Srila Prabhupada, isn't it? A representative means what? Someone who sees this person, he should see Prabhupada in this person. He is representing Prabhupada. Meaning, not just the externals. Representing means the mission. We should strive. How can we do that? We should pray. We should pray to Srila Prabhupada, to Krishna, that we want to be. How much Srila Prabhupada prayed. You see that, right? This mission was there, it was given. This order was given to everyone, others also. But only Srila Prabhupada took it like his life's mission. And how much he would pray. He would go to different temples, pray to the deities. In Radha Damodar Mandir, he would be cleaning the courtyard and crying and begging the Goswamis, please give me the, I have this, even on Jaladuta, right, prepared that, still he writes that poem, you're insignificant beggar, Srila Prabhupada signs. I'm like a puppet, you make me dance. So that is Srila Prabhupada's mood. So here when you read this purport, you can understand. I'll just read it one more time. Sometimes one must act duplicitously in a dangerous position as Vasudev did to save his wife. So I was just explaining in terms of Vasudev, when a Kshatriya, he can act in a duplicitous way. A Brahmana cannot even do that. A Brahmana cannot do that. It's hard, right? But a Kshatriya can do that. Managers, right? They can do that. But even that has to be done for Krishna. That's important. You cannot do that for your personal, profit. or for your, whatever, for your sense gratification. You cannot do that.
Mataji,
But when,
Vasudev's name was Anakadundavi. That means he knew that he will be giving birth
to the
Krishna.
Supreme Lord. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
So
reason why he was going for one baby after another, knowing that they will be killed by Kamsa, because he was very eager to see the face of Krishna. He knew Krishna's coming. Yes. And his name is Anakadundavi, so not only him, everyone knew. He'll be the father. Yes, Mataji. You wanted to say something about that?
no, that's what it is. I because he purposely he was saving Devaki because
Krishna
he
is to
knew
come.
that they are going to give birth to Krishna, so that Kamsa.
Yes.
He didn't know that Kamsa will be killed. That is what I think. But Krishna is coming up. That's what he knew.
Yes. Yes. And he was eager for that also to happen. And like here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, to save Krishna. Prabhupada is
Yeah.
saying to save Krishna. See,
Yeah.
Krishna was to appear through Vasudev and Devaki to kill Kamsa. Vasudev therefore had to do everything to save the situation. That means to allow for that to happen. Now again, same point will come. Krishna, he needs somebody's help, right? So that means if Vasudev didn't do this, then Devaki would be killed and Krishna would be stopped from coming. Is that how it is? Can't Krishna save himself? He needs Vasudev to do so. This is the
So the
rasa. This is the rasa, right? Krishna puts his devotee in these situations because then their love will just, because it's only out of love that they try so hard. Otherwise, if you take Krishna can do everything, then what is the need to do anything for anyone? There's no need. No need for anyone to make garlands, no need for anyone to cook or clean or anything. Krishna can do everything. Then what will we do? How will we show him that we are his devotees? And if you're already a devotee, then you cannot stay without doing anything for Krishna. So in Vasudev's case also, yeah, so at that time like Yashodamai, always caring for Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, and what is the need to worry for him? But this is the heart of a devotee. They have so much love for the Lord that they even forget that, He's the Supreme Personality of God and He can take care of Himself. They do everything they can. Deity worship also the same thing. The deity is there, but He's Krishna. Even if He doesn't eat what's there, He's not hungry. We have these material bodies, we become hungry. He doesn't. But those who are actually devotees, they just take care of the deity, like, because he is actually a real person, but depending on one's devotion, right? Somebody's seeing him just as a stone deity, and another person is seeing, oh, Krishna is hungry, or Krishna is tired, right? He must take rest now, like that. He should be given a bath. The flowers are fading. You should give fresh flowers, like that. So this is devotion. So devotees feel like that. So Vasudev also, in order to save the situation, right? He had to do everything within his capacity, to allow for Krishna to come. So that's why, although all events were prearranged by Krishna, still the devotee tries his best. That's the beauty. It just shows the love of the devotee. And Krishna arranges for this, for the devotee to express his love. He puts them in such, difficult situations, because in those difficult situations they get an opportunity to express their love for Krishna. दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा, right? In those times, how much of a devotee I am will be revealed at that time. Someone who's really devotee, he won't give up until the last minute, like Jatayu. He will even give up his life, but he won't give up. But those who are not, they're like, Krishna will take care. What can I do? I'm after all a conditioned soul. Someone else will do it, right? Let me just take my prasad and just go to bed. Aditilata Mataji.
Mataji, I wanted to share my thoughts also in this. Like as you were saying that Krishna, likes this rasa. He tries to relish this feeling because
He
he's
brings
ultimately.
out the love from the heart of the devotee. That's the thing.
Yes, yes. Even I mean the pure devotees they already have that love, but what he does is he puts them the pure devotees. I'm talking about pure devotees. He puts them in those situations so that first of all, obviously to glorify them, that definitely is there. Also, he wants to taste that
Yeah,
wonderful that feeling, like a child and a mother. That's how I feel that when a child is hungry, suppose the mother is not having food or something. We have seen so many cases, like in poverty time and all those things. The mother will go door to door begging just for the child to feed the child, not for herself.
yeah,
She doesn't want to eat, just to feed the child.
yeah,
So in that desperate situation, so we understand that concept of that feeling, that when you love someone, we understand in our material way, we do not understand in the spiritual way, because we are not I am not so spiritually advanced. But in the material way also, if I see, analyze, then I understand that those fame in time, like if we have seen the movies and all. From that I have the idea that we will go out of the way to just to give something for the kid, in desperate situation. Krishna always creates that situation. If we see with the pure devotees like Prabhupada, he was in the brink of dying,
yeah,
I would say, right? Even the Russian devotees who were doing, they were in the jail, tortured. They were in the brink of, many left their bodies also. They were on the brink of leaving their bodies. That situation Krishna gives, and then that of course they are glorified that way, and then Krishna relishes that. Oh my God, look at this devotee. He or she loves me so much. Oh my God, I love you more. Like that. Even
yes,
in our situation day to day, like when my son's situation happened, I remember my husband was in the hospital, going for the blood and staying in the hospital. So for long hours we were awake, awake, awake. So we went through so much in the extreme level, just because it was our kids. So this situation Krishna gives, I totally understand this way, in the materialistic way also, that he brings us in that life and death, the last point, before he says, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I love you, yes, I accept, like that. Isn't that wonderful? Wonderful, but sad.
not sad. It's wonderful because it's like when only because ordinary times we don't do that. We don't do that. It's actually a great opportunity for us also. Like, if you're a brilliant student, when you get a challenging question, that's what separates you from others. Like, these competitive exams, like for IIT, etc. They give such hard problems. Only those who are brilliant can answer those questions. So similarly, so that's when they're able to really, filter.
Mm.
So such hard challenges when they come, it really is a blessing for the devotee that he gets the opportunity to perform. Perform means to serve Krishna, right? Like to exhibit his love. He gets an opportunity in those circumstances. So it's actually a blessing by Krishna, but also it's not easy. It's difficult because you have to at the same time go through all that, you know, anxiety. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, If you're facing anxiety for Krishna's service, that's the greatest ecstasy. You don't feel it at that time because all you can think of is that service and that anxiety. But after the fact, like now you're talking about, how when your son was in difficulty, at that time it was just, but now after the whole thing, now you think about it and, it just, uh, it endears, right, that person to you even more. So, yeah, you were
Yes,
saying,
even
yeah.
recently, Mataji, this Vrindavan episode also, like when I went to meet Guru Maharaj, the last darshan, so it was so intense, so tiring, exhausting, intense, and physically, emotionally, everything that I couldn't even take one more step. It was that bad. It was so hot, and I was getting almost like heat stroke. I couldn't see anything, forward me, so in front of me. And then I was just calling out to Krishna, like, just take me to the car. I can't even go walk anymore. It was so intense. It's like end stage. So, and then, eventually everything was, I found a car and the driver found me. And then I, got through everything. So that every situation I see, whenever spiritually I see that, I'm doing something for Krishna or trying to do something for Krishna, that point comes where it is life and death, the end. It's
Yes, ma'am.
Krishna test. Okay, let me see what you want to do. Let me see how you go ahead with that. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice. You're sincere, so Krishna gives you those tests to bring you forward. Okay, thank you.
I don't know that sincerity or not, but Krishna definitely assist everyone. Sometimes we are able to see, sometimes we don't see it because we are so much covered by ignorance. But he
Yeah,
always gives opportunity to everyone, I feel.
yeah. And of course, according to our receptivity, he'll give more and more. If we resent it, then he may not give, right? But those who are using that as an opportunity to come closer to Krishna, then they'll get more like that, like Krishna's mercy. So, yeah, one more time this purport. Sometimes one must act duplicitously in a dangerous position as Vasudev did to save his wife. The material world is complicated, and to execute one's duties, one cannot avoid adopting such diplomacy. Why? Vasudev is smiling, even though he's in such anxiety externally, he's smiling. So, this is a duplicitous activity. He's not happy, but he's showing Kamsa that he's smiling and he's happy and he's relaxed. Huh? This is diplomacy. So how he is able to do that? So that I was saying, because Kshatriyas, you know, they they have to do this. But of course, Vasudev is a Vaishnava. One more point, important point I wanted to say before I forget is Kshatriyas have this nature, but this is just when they're dealing with the world. But when they're amongst devotees, they are childlike, right? Because they're actually, that's why, those who are Vaishnavas, I'm talking about Vaishnavas like Yudhishthir Maharaj, for example, Parikshit Maharaj. When they are doing their duties as a Kshatriya, they follow all the Kshatriya codes and, yeah, Rajarshi. They do all the duties, you know, and even they have to adopt diplomacy. Yes, you cannot say that you cannot. No, they adopt diplomacy when they are actually ruling as Kshatriyas. They have to do that. They have to do that. But in their heart, in their dealings with Krishna, with Krishna's devotees, there is no diplomacy because they're actually, in reality, they're Vaishnavas. They're above all this. So even in our day-to-day life, sometimes you may see like some really nice devotees, they may be like very, what do you say, competitive, you know, and very, like as managers when they go and deal outside, and the people that work with them, they may be very, like fearful and, look up to them with great awe and fear, like strict boss or something. But the same person, when he comes, to the temple in the association of devotees and the spiritual masters, he becomes like a very, very most humble menial servant, very, very humble. There are examples of such devotees. They're like lions when they go outside dealing with the world, but when they are in the devotees association, they become very, very, very humble, like very humble somewhere, like not like coming and showing off their power and their position. No, when they're amongst devotees, they're somewhere, very, very in an insignificant way. So of course, so that's how you know who's a Vaishnava, by his uh, behavior, right? So that's just one more point I wanted to say about.
Like the king was sweeping the floor, and his
Prataprudra Maharaj. Yeah, like that. So no, I'm saying even now, today also, there are such devotees. Like they may be very, very successful in the world outside, in the corporate world, but when they come amongst devotees, they become very humble. So Vasudev did. So the material world is complicated, and to execute one's duties, one cannot avoid adopting such diplomacy. Vasudev did everything possible to save his wife. Because if you're playing the role of a manager, and if you go like Trinadapi Sunichana, it won't work. Even within ISKCON, actually. Right? If you're a manager and if you have to get work done, you cannot expect, you have to have that stern position. That's when you can actually get things done. But that's just that's the facade you wear on top as a service, for the mission, for the movement. Many times that also happens. But but who they are actually, right, in their heart of hearts, they're very soft, like a rose petal, very, very soft.
Like Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
I was thinking, yes.
Yes, like Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he was like a tiger. That's what every other devotees were saying. I didn't see him in his youth, but Kaivalya Prabhu was saying the other day that when Gopal Krishna Maharaj used to come in the room, it used to look like a tiger has entered, because his presence is like that.
Grave.
But yeah, I mean,
very grave.
That's why that's why everyone used to fear him, like for the management purpose. But the glorification which I heard in that, they were saying, in there will be like in parliament, there will be bickering and, different problems, and everyone is saying, trying to resolve situation. In any heated situation also, he was a Vaishnava. He dealt like a Vaishnava. He never raised his voice. He never did anything which is offensive to anyone. He always, in any situation, he was a Vaishnava. So that they were saying that this is something to learn from him. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm like a tiger and then I am, slapping everyone, putting everyone down. It's not like that. He never raised his voice. He never did anything. He was always a humble devotee and a Vaishnava. It's just his presence, like Kaivalya Prabhu was saying, that created, like, oh, okay, he's an authority. That thing.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So much is there in such a small purport. So many points. Vasudev did everything possible to save his wife for the sake of begetting Krishna, like Nilambari Radha Mataji said. He knew Krishna was coming, and then he's doing everything possible for Krishna to come, right? That means save Devaki first. This indicates that one may act duplicitously for the purpose of saving Krishna. One may act duplicitously for the sake of saving Krishna and his interests. So that has to be clear though. You cannot just justify. That's why we have to be true, right? We cannot, many times, right? We just cheat ourselves and we cheat the whole world. We say, I'm doing this for Krishna, and therefore I break laws, so many things I do because I'm doing it for Krishna. But actually, I wouldn't be doing it for Krishna. Maybe I'm doing it to get away from difficulty, or, to make my life easy, right? But I will say I'm doing it for Krishna. If it is genuinely, because it won't be an everyday thing, right? If I'm doing it for Krishna. So we have to be very careful. When we are bending rules, we have to be very careful uh, why we are doing what we are doing. But, someone, a pure devotee, if they do that, normally they will never do that. But even if they do that, it will only be for the sake of Krishna's interests, to save Krishna's interests. They can do it. Because they don't have anya abhilashita shunyam. Pure devotees means they don't have any desire. They don't want power, position, wealth, nothing. Then why they're doing? To save Krishna's interests. That's all. So first of all, we have to come to the point of anya abhilashita shunyam and then think about breaking rules. Right? So first just follow the rules and try to come to the point of that Ananya Bhakti without any other desire save and accept Krishna. How to do that safely? Follow the guidelines given by the previous acharyas. Just follow whatever they have given us. According to the arrangement already foretold, Krishna was to appear through Vasudeva and Devaki to kill Kamsa. Vasudeva therefore had to do everything to save. Yeah, the rest we discussed already. Yeah. So a devotee must do, even if it is said by Krishna and Krishna is the Supreme Lord, still a sincere devotee will do everything within his capacity, like Arjun. He never sat down, right, like a non-violent gentleman. Let Krishna win this battle. No, he tried his best to fight the battle and be victorious. And how Mataji correlated with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So we will stop there. Unfortunately, I won't even be reading Leelamrita today. It's already time and you all have work, and I also have another class coming up. So I'll just stop here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. We'll continue tomorrow. I will try to do Chaitanya Charitamrita class. It's really hot here, these months. So sometimes I become late also. So, but I will try. Today also I didn't do. Maybe tomorrow we'll try to do. Or for you today evening. Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah, today, Thursdays, we cannot be very late. If you are getting late, then we would rather skip it, Mataji, because we have Vishnu Gada Prabhu's class also.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. And yesterday, one more thing that came to me was you probably, I know you said you didn't go, but everyone else was in the temple. Nishini Chaturdasi celebrations were going on. So that was also there. Okay. So I'll keep that in mind. So our time is your 6 to 6:30, right?
Yes, 6 to 6:30, because after that Vishnu Gada Prabhu's class starts.
Starts at 6:30?
I think it starts at I think 6:30. From 6:30 he starts reading sloka. Yes.
Okay. So if I'm there at 6, I will do
6:40. It starts at 6:40.
That's good. Works well for us perfectly. If I end on time, you can jump to the next class.
Yes, exactly. That's how we do it. But if you are late, then we have to skip certain
Yeah. So let me do like this from now onwards. I will, if I come on time only, I will do. If I'm late, I won't do. Then I will also become like, serious that I have to do it on time. I have to end it on time. So
yeah, only on Thursdays, because then otherwise we will meet, because he's reading Leela Amrita, and we don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. All of you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.